Walk through any city center, and the scale of human existence becomes a blur. Behind every face is a specific, pressing need, a struggling marriage, a health scare, or the quiet weight of loneliness. When we see those needs in our own circles, a hardwired instinct takes over. We compare our limited energy and bank accounts to the massive size of a friend's crisis, and we freeze. To manage this feeling, we delegate. We assume that because the problem is big, the solution must be professional. We tell ourselves to step back and wait for a nonprofit, a counselor, or a government program to intervene. This logic creates a physical distance between us and the people we care about. By treating compassion as a specialized service, we trade immediate, human connection for a seat on the sidelines. We have more institutional resources than at any point in history, yet the people closest to us often feel the most isolated. We're waiting for experts to solve problems that were originally meant to be met with simple, neighborly presence. In a remote area on the shore of Galilee, 5,000 people sat on a hillside as the sun began to set. They hadn't eaten, there were no shops nearby, and the logistics of the situation had reached a breaking point. The disciples looked at the crowd and suggested the most practical solution available: send the people away so they can find food for themselves in the surrounding villages. Jesus stopped them with a command that ignored every practical constraint. He told the disciples, "You give them something to eat." 5 loaves and 2 fish sit centered in a grid representing 5,000 people. The math is a total mismatch. As the grid expands, the small offering is visually buried. Logic dictates the resource is simply too small to even attempt a solution. This scenario forced the disciples to face the gap between what they had and what was required. It moved the problem from a question of logistics to a question of participation. A boy stepped forward and handed over his lunch. In the face of 5,000 hungry adults, this was a statistically insignificant gesture. Skeptics often argue that this wasn't a miracle of food, but a miracle of psychology, that the boy's gesture shamed the crowd into revealing food they had hidden in their sleeves. Matthew records a physical multiplication of matter. The bread and fish were broken and passed out, and the supply continued to grow until every person was full, with 12 baskets of leftovers remaining. The blueprint is consistent, and insufficient human input is placed into the hands of the divine, resulting in a supply that exceeds the original demand. The boy was never tasked with the distribution or the scaling. His entire role ended the moment he let go of his own meal. Multiplication requires a starting point. It doesn't begin with a surplus. It begins with the willingness to offer something that is clearly not enough. Your version of the loaves and fish might be a 5-minute phone call, a $30 grocery card, or just showing up to sit on a porch with someone who is grieving. When a friend faces a crisis, like a terminal diagnosis or a job loss, these small acts feel insulting. You feel the urge to stay quiet because you can't fix the whole problem. Waiting until you feel qualified or capable enough to help is just another way of staying on the sidelines. Identify one small, specific resource you have right now, a bit of time, a specific skill, or a simple word of encouragement. Offer that resource today. Hand it over without trying to calculate how it could possibly be enough to solve the crisis. Your inadequacy is the primary requirement for this effect. You provide the small, insufficient start. The multiplication happens only after you let go.